Bootum.
Welcome back, everyone. It's been a minute, but the Per 36 podcast is back in action. The last time we were in this dark podcast room thing, I think it was, with Scout with Brian? I think it was before the first.
It was with Scout with Brian.
And I think it was before the first Mavs game, in which I was like, oh, they're about to get killed. But then actually, things were looking good. And then they actually won that game. And that was the first Mavs game. Then they won the other game. I was like, oh, things are kind of fun.
Long story short, after we owned the Mavs.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, I thought things were bad. And then I was like, oh, they're good. And then ever since then, it was bad. Did Fizdale even win a game after the Mavs game?
I don't.
Or maybe the
Cavs game? The Cavs game.
You can only beat the Avs.
Was that after we got blown out by 35 by the Cavs while we were at home?
Yeah, we lost to we got killed by the Cavs, and then the Cavs without Love and someone else.
Exactly.
We went off on. So yeah, David Fizdale, his greatest weakness cannot beat teams that end with abs, and that resulted in his ultimate.
He's probably on a beach in Aruba right now with his wife.
He's vibing.
He's wearing a tropical little bathing suit and his glasses.
He's wearing
He's wearing Moutier shirt.
Yeah,
he's wearing a Moutier jersey.
He's wearing his Moutier. He's wearing a Moutier Jazz jersey, and he's like, man, you see what these guys gave me? People come up to him. People come up to him on the beach, and they're like, Fizz, that's horrible what happened. They promised you Durant, and they gave you Julius Randle. He's like, I know it's horrible. I was expecting. They told me they'd max Moutier, and I was just phoning it in after that didn't happen. That was the issue. He just he kept trying to call Moody to come into the game, I think, and just he wasn't there, and it confused him, and just he wasn't able to do anything else on the court. But yeah, so I'm pretty glad that Fizdale was gone. I think any way you cut it, just it's been 100 games, and I don't really think there's been any positive signs. They won. He went 21 and he won 21 out of 100 games. Any way you cut it, just even though it was more than wins and losses, it was the little things, I'd say. If you're losing that much and there's nothing to show for it besides the young players not getting better and the vets having career worst years outside of Marcus Morris, who's shooting ridiculously on threes and worse on everything else, it's I don't know. I think it's safe to say, even at most positive looking at David Fizdale, it's they're not losing anything here.
It was also it just really pisses me off how everyone in the media and everyone on ESPN is Fizz does not, and how every coach comes to his defense, that Pop thing. I know you tweeted about it, but when they ask him about our young core the day before the game, he's yeah, I have no idea, and then a week later when Fizdale gets fired, it's this is a travesty. He's a great coach. He's not.
Any of them
he's
could
not
hire any of those coaches could hire them on.
On his bring him on your staff. He's
very good at watching LeBron carry.
No, he's really good at. He's really good at making friends with the veterans on the team.
That's the issue. It's too much of a nice guy. Too much. He's a player's coach.
Yeah, he's the definition
for
of a player's
scrubs.
Coach. Yeah,
not enough of a player's coach actually bring in the free agents he was supposed to bring in, but a player's coach to the point where Randall and all those bums get comfortable and just do whatever they want. What was I gonna say? I don't really blame coaches for defending him, though. At the same time, it was not normal coach defending. Coach will never badmouth another coach, but they weren't just not doing that. They were Carl's trashing
exactly.
the Knicks.
And Kerr.
Yeah,
they can relax,
Steve Kerr needs to shut up because he would have lost his job with the Warriors if they didn't have Stephen Curry and Durant. He's freaking lost to the Knicks. He has D'Angelo Russell and Draymond Green, and he lost to the team. So clearly, the team coaches can impact the team. I don't know. But the most ridiculous thing, I don't know if you saw my beef with. Speaking of media, the most ridiculous one, we didn't get him on the podcast after my little beef John Hollinger tweeted out, like, making fun of the Knicks firing Fizdale. And, like, bro, you fired David Fizdale. And they actually, like, you know.
Yeah,
won
what?
I
I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah. And that's, like, how ridiculous. Like,
and like,
all the reaction around Fizdale is ridiculous. Like,
no, and like Kendrick
Fizdale
Kendrick Perkins being like, I'm so proud of him for getting out of that awful situation. He deserves so much better. Like, okay, like, the thing is like every Knicks fan wanted Fizdale to succeed, and coming into the season, we didn't count him. We were like very like too optimistic going into the season.
Like last year he sucked too.
Exactly.
They won 17 games,
but we were like, oh, it was the team. Like now with all the talent, like Fizdale's gonna do it.
We were like, yes,
yeah,
like
and then,
no one could do anything with that team.
Exactly, and then you watch his.
Then everyone was like, look, we added some solid free agents this summer.
Exactly.
The young guys are getting better. We added RJ. And they're worse. They were worse with him.
But then and then you watch them play, and he's one of the worst in-game coaches I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean,
like he's really just not a competent game manager or planner when it comes to just play to play, possession to possession, and his rotations. Like, it was crazy.
Exactly. I mean, I guess we could use it to segue into Mike Miller. We're just in these 3 games. It just seems like Mike Miller is just so much more of a competent coach, and it's just like the little things. It's not necessarily like he's doing anything crazy. It's that like when the Warriors went on the run, a 7-0 run to start the third, like he called a timeout, which Fizdale would not do.
He plays
and,
knocks at the 4, which is a crazy concept. Like
and he got three little minutes there. I mean, like, not everything's perfect. Like, obviously, he's still starting the forward gang. But just, like, overall, immediately, there's just a level of more competence with the right decisions, taking timeouts, taking advantage of timeouts, and, just doing little things that we were told were impossible, like running the pick and roll. I mean, all of a sudden, they're running the pick and roll way more. Like, clearly it was not impossible.
And also, it's like...
And, like, it's not just bias. Like, against the Blazers, like, the Knicks lost. But anyone watching that game, it was just different than it would be in a Fizdale game. Just because, like, I mean, they were getting open shots.
And we ran a pick and roll for once, which seemed to be a crazy concept in the Fizdale era. We would run, like, 1 to 2 pick and rolls a game, which was infuriating to watch. And, I mean, this is a question. I know you probably see it on Twitter. How Mike Miller, like, keeps trying to sneak in these, like, triangle offense stuff.
Yeah.
He just tries to slip it. I mean, like, I don't know. He's also just, like, I don't know. He's more of a coach. Like, I feel like the players viewed Fizdale as a friend or as, like, a peer.
I mean, he just viewed them.
Yeah.
He was their buddy, and, like...
Like, Mike Miller is, like, he's not, like, I like that he's not that cool. Like...
Yeah, but, like...
He is.
He just seems more... At the same time, he seems more in his element, and, like, even though he's not their friend, like, right now, it doesn't seem... You know, the players still seem to like him. Like, they gave him the game ball after the game. It just...
They were all cheering around him.
The difference is Fizdale seemed out of his element. You watch him, and everyone's just like, look, he's a good assistant coach, but, like, this probably isn't for him. Mike Miller, like, even if he's not, like, the answer, he just seems... like he knows more of what he's doing because he's been a head coach for a ton of time. And he really did have a lot of success developing legends in the Westchester Knicks like Jimmer, Thanasis Antetokounmpo, Jordan Pachinski.
I was about to say Jordan Pachinski.
Jordan Pachinski. He's not talked about a lot, but like
we should do a Jordan Pachinski
some
recap soon because I was in the summer league. I was at the summer league one year, and I sat next to his dad for like a while, and his dad was a crazy guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Just I was fond of Westchester Knicks that year, and
he was all-time Pac-12 blocks leader.
Yeah, you know who like
he had it.
And guess what? He was like an all G League player under the tutelage of Mike Miller. And leveraged that into,
I'm gonna look to see where he's playing right now.
Yeah, somewhere overseas. Like it's kind of interesting. Like I don't know. I watched the team because it was fun. It was Jimmer, Thanasis, who were like all stars in G League, but then Jordan Pachinski was also.
Oh, he has a great Instagram username, Blockchinsky.
Oh yeah, I think I knew that.
Wait, what?
What?
Dude, he's a player development coach now. He stopped playing pro basketball. What the fuck? He was so young. Yeah, he works for the Celtics now.
No way.
Jordan Baczynski, yeah. That's so weird.
That's crazy. He's
retired.
He went from in February 13th. In 2016 he was named to the All NBA D League third team and All NBA D League All Defensive team, and now he's already on the. That's crazy. But guess what?
And he has 1,200 Instagram followers.
But look.
Oh, and Jimmer commented on his last post.
That's
Love
cute.
It.
That's all because of the chemistry developed
it's the
by
Mike Miller connection. It's the Mike Miller connection.
Without Mike Miller, Jordan Baczynski went from he immediately went from G League All-Star to the second without Mike Miller and became a coach.
You're right. Now,
Luke Cornett,
when do you think
legendary player under Mike Miller and on the Knicks next year? Now look at him.
When do you think Kadeem Allen starts becoming our starting point guard? Because you know that's
a good question.
That's Mike Miller's child.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised we haven't seen Kadeem yet, especially with Dennis Smith sucking.
Apparently, Trier's out tonight.
Yeah, I saw Dennis Smith is probable, which puts a nail in my Dennis Smith having the same Chris Wilkes illness theory.
Do you think that we should just ask Dennis Smith to just work out for 2 weeks straight? And then I feel like we should just let him go on vacation and just
well that's what that's what I'm saying on the Fredo's pod yesterday. Because he was out with illness, I was like, oh, maybe there's just I don't know if I really buy this. I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden he's out for a few weeks. But yeah, I guess he actually was sick. But
if they say he has lupus.
He's such a mess. They have to do something like that. I mean, really, the answer is to send him to the friggin' G League.
I don't know. It's.
But he really just needs I don't know. Right now these 10. I don't know how much I'm a proponent of, especially in a down year, him playing. And again, that's another thing Mike Miller's done a little better. He's letting Dennis Smith play, and then he is atrocious in the first 5 minutes, and then he takes him out, and then he puts him in the second half while Fizdale will just keep him in until he even just that he's just managing better. But even still, right now just playing off the bench, it's just he's not playing a few minutes. It's just not enough for him. He's just such a mess. He really needs to The answer is either he's starting on the Knicks and the focus is on him, which is stupid, or he goes to Westchester. And I really don't even think I would start him over Lamar Peters in the Westchester Knicks right now. And
that's such a crazy thought. And the thing is it honestly it pisses me off so much now because of the rap the Knicks get in terms of you remember LeBron in that interview being the Knicks made such a mistake.
He said he should have been a Knick.
Dude, he is probably the worst basketball player in the NBA.
Yeah, it was so. I mean, that was so dumb. I said that from the beginning.
But he is horrendous.
Immediately in the first season,
I still hope
the Knicks messed up by not drafting Dennis Smith. And I was like Frank's not that good, but Dennis Smith is also not that good. And Frank is at least good at defense. Dennis Smith is not good at anything.
Yes.
And Dennis Smith is worse now than he Dennis Smith he put up
was a good rookie.
Numbers.
He was a fine rookie.
I'm just saying he wasn't a good basketball player, but he was a good rookie. But he went from a bad player to he's not even a bad I don't even know what happened. It's weird how little it's talked about. It's very Fultz-ish. Where
but no one in the media brings it up that he's broken because he is broken.
Yeah, it's weird. It's broken. He's completely broken. It's completely a mental thing or
he can't
something.
He won't shoot.
It came out of nowhere.
He can't shoot. The hitch is worse.
But, the thing is, it's not even just a shooting because you could be up an effect. Markelle Fultz still isn't actually shooting well.
But he's
on
effective.
Threes.
He's effective.
But you could still be a good basketball player without a shot. He's just kind of everything. He's just he's a mess on really every aspect of basketball. I guess it was kind of like that before, but. I don't know. Something happened. He's just way worse.
I think also with us looking towards the future, I think me and you are going to be pretty disappointed in the lack of trades that I bet you Mills and Perry make. I really I don't see them doing that much.
I'm dreading it. Well, I'll get it in a second, but first just I don't know with Dennis Smith. That's a guy who I don't even think they should trade because his value is so low.
So you wouldn't give him up for a second right now?
No, because like it's just like not even worth it. I would because I don't know. He's such a mess that like he's not.
Do
gonna
we have
figure
one
out
more
this
year? Like we have next year.
Yeah, we
with
have
him
next year. So I don't know. I would spend what I would do is I would send him down to the G League or just like.
Just try to let him go off. Like let him
let-
try to treat it like the Jamal Crawford Pro-Am.
Yeah,
like,
but
go
even if that everyone was freaking out, like I just pointed out, everyone was freaking about him scoring 50
18
points
for 42.
18 for 42. I mean, even if you're not trying against scrubs where Jamal Crawford is out of the league, is like
he was the best
MVP,
player there.
Like, what does that say about you for shooting 18 for 42? But I don't know. They just need to put in like a lot of, give him a lot of love, give him a lot of attention. Just like they got to get him right. But the guy to get him right is not Keith Smart, obviously.
I'm
it's
just gonna say
another
this.
example
I'm
of the Knicks
super
being messed up.
glad
They don't have a shooting coach.
I'm super glad that the only other
They need Dave Hopla from Knicks Camp to
or
teach Dennis Smith.
we need to poach Steve
was a
Rosenberg.
Knicks-
Yeah,
he
he
was
was
a
a Knicks
Knicks
shooting
shooting
coach.
coach.
Yeah,
Why
I know
they, like,
it's
get rid of
crazy.
him?
We lost Dave Hopla, and then we should try to poach Steve Rosenberry from the Blazers.
Yeah.
We really should.
He knew Damian Lillard would be
And he
good,
knew
and
C.J.
was not.
McCollum.
Yeah.
See, back-to-back years he came to Knicks Camp and be like, none of you guys know who C.J. McCollum is, but I'm telling you he's going to be a star.
The best line by Steve Rosenberry, the assistant Portland Trailblazers general manager who came to Knicks Camp, was he talked about that Lillard draft, and he talked about the workout. And there's a video of like the actual workout with Steve Rosenberry in the background.
Yeah, with a weighted vest. He's like, I saw him. Like, I've never seen a workout like that.
He's a really crazy looking dude, Steve Rosenberry. He's very like tan, long
His
hair.
skin's very leathery.
Yeah, very leathery.
Very leathery.
But the best line, I think, was he's like, the Kings had a 5th pick, and we knew they'd screw it up. And then they took Thomas Robinson. Now we have him, too, because they had him at the time, too. It's just like he completely ethered him, and he was spitting facts.
No, Steve Rosenberry is actually, like if you just saw him, he's amazing. Oh, my God.
What?
Oh.
What?
Wow, his wife just died.
Steve Rosenberry's wife?
Yeah,
died?
rest in peace.
Oh, damn.
I just read a John Calipari tweet by it.
Oh, that sucks.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Rosie.
All right. Poor Rosie.
That's a sad note to get on.
Yeah, that wasn't very fun. That
No.
wasn't a good.
No, I just got sad. I just got sad.
That sucks.
That's awful. Okay, let's move on from Steve Rosenberry then.
Yeah, he gave some good talks.
He gave some great talks. They were all the
Talked
same.
about how.
Nick Batum was a future potential MVP. He said that every year.
Yeah, and he always got mad at the little kids. They would go to half court and they shoot it, and he's like, "I'm gonna make it next time. I'm making it next time." Wait, what was I gonna say? Let's see.
What would you be? Okay.
But you know what's ridiculous though? Speaking, it's kind of topical. Speaking about Knicks Camp and something I'm a little salty about. Every year Knicks Camp, I mean, we have freaking Steve Rosenberry come. I mean, like who's an assistant general manager of the Trailblazers. Like it was good, but like not really actually relevant to the Knicks.
No, not.
Meanwhile, we got little Cole Anthony, and his dad couldn't come once in like 4 years.
Greg could not.
Greg could not come through. He's too busy.
Cole
getting in
also.
trouble?
Yeah. Like, I just remember one specific like game so clearly where I was like, we were like 10, and me and Cole were on the same team, and I went to shoot we were down a basket at the buzzer, and I went to take a bank shot, and he was yelling at me like for shooting it basically as time expired, and then I hit the shot to win the game, and his mood changed real quick. I was like, okay, Cole, like.
You heard it here first. Cole Anthony is two-faced.
I'm a Nico Manian over Cole.
Yeah, I think I'm on the Nico train too. I mean, I don't really follow.
I know you're not a college
too much.
guy.
I mean, I'm gonna have to get more into it just by default. But
I think
he seems like the one point guard that can actually shoot.
Yes.
So that's enough.
And it
for
seems
me.
like the Knicks. I bet you they go point guard this draft. You know what I mean?
think they have to.
I think they really have to.
I mean, we could talk a little bit more about other players. I mean, Frank is my boy, but I mean
he's definitely more of a he's just like a combo guard at this point.
Yeah, or a backup shooting guard. I mean, I think he cemented himself as a decent NBA player, even though he really stung it up. I mean, he's been kind of singing up recently. He
has been
6 points in his past 3 games,
He's
but
been bad.
I will. I mean, he's also playing a lot more than he's used to.
Yeah, he's probably tired.
He had like a little bit of an injury. I'm honestly not too concerned about him. I think he'll get himself together.
You think we get a first-round pick for Marcus Morris? You think we keep him to keep the culture?
So we could talk about the trades. I mean, everyone's like, oh, we'll trade all the.
We're not gonna. We're definitely.
Trade
That's not
everyone.
Perry's. That's not Perry's mo.
But it's not even it's just that it's not Perry's MO. It's just you look at the actual roster and the guys they signed. I mean, they're not easily movable contracts.
I bet you we could probably trade maybe like if a playoff team that needs spacing, we could probably trade Bobby Portis for a second.
But you say that, but also Bobby Portis is making $15 million. So again,
we'd have to match the salary.
You have to match the salary, and you have to find someone who needs Bobby Portis, and you need someone who's like on the. You need to find someone that is competing for the playoffs and has enough room to trade that can match that contract.
So then I don't think I think he stays.
So yeah, I really don't see Bobby Portis happening. Marcus Morris, like it's the same thing, but I think there is actually a market for him because he's like Randall, Portis, Gibson, Ellington. I mean, those are all solid players who teams probably wouldn't.
We're not gonna trade Gibson. We're gonna keep him.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that like they do have solid that like I'm sure a team would be interested in Wayne Ellington, but he's making $8 million a year. Like no one like it's just not plausible. No one's like if he was making nothing like me. I don't know. I don't even think anyone would trade anything for him. Marcus Morris, though, I genuinely
he's been so surprisingly good. Like
he's been ridiculously
good.
He's been
ridiculously.
I mean, it's been.
He's like a Melo. He is like a little but he can.
Mellow, right.
I did not know he could shoot the way he has been.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing. The Knicks are such a mess. I mean they've had like the worst spacing in the league, and he's shooting 49% on threes on 6 attempts. I mean he's just putting up ridiculous production. So I mean he is genuinely someone who probably could get moved for a pick, even though he's making like a bit of money because he's actually like a solid player. And I think there are some realistic things. I was looking at the Kings and the Wolves as teams that could realistically trade for him because they both have like centers that would make it match who the Knicks could use, who aren't playing those teams that much, like in Gorgie Jang and Dwayne Dedman. So like just one of those guys in like a first. I mean, I could see that happening. Like I don't know. That's really what it has to be. Because I mean, even like the Jazz who could use him, it's hard because they would have to give up like X amount. I don't know if they'd want to do that, like because these are. I mean, it's a lot of salary. It's hard to move. But yeah. I really don't think any of these guys are honestly movable outside of Marcus Morris. And I guess like, well, I guess the other thing to talk about. I was just thinking about veterans, but really they should trade Trier. I don't really know.
Trier should be gone, like actually gone.
Yeah. I don't know.
We could get
or Dotson. Maybe even Dotson instead, just because. He's not a bad player, but just because he's making $1 million a year and he like is actually I don't know. Trier and Dotson are both expiring.
I think Dotson's better than Trier.
Yeah, he is, but he might have a better trade value.
Yeah, no, and he can defend.
Though I'm not sure.
You're right.
I would trade. Honestly, like Dotson's fine, but I would not lose sleep
over him, over us getting like a second and like a shitty
not
player.
At all. And also, especially with his past of, So I mean, it's not a guy I really like rooting for, but I don't think he's that good. I think he's a decent player. He's not really a young player.
He's not.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, what they should have been doing is playing Dotson and Trier to see like what they have in them. Trier's has barely been playing. So I don't know.
I hope Kenny Wooten gets his time to shine soon.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully at the trade deadline they move Marcus Morris. They call up the Woot Man, who's not even on a 2A for no reason.
The Woot Man's tweets when he's in the NBA are gonna be insane.
Yeah. I mean, dude, he's giving off major Willie Reed vibes right now. I don't know if you remember that. Willie Reed would always like tweet out like # call Willie up. He's not on that level yet, but he got close. I mean, Kenny Wooten, I don't think we discussed here. Like, he was like liking my tweets, being like that were like making fun of the Knicks, like for like if they lose him because they don't have him on 2-way. Like he's calmed down a bit. I mean, he still definitely thinks very highly of himself, but like he has been like
he retweets any tweet about himself.
Yeah.
Like Chris Prizak goes, Kenny Wooten nails a jumper and is up to 12 points. It's been a good game for Wooten as he's been able to show an expanded offensive game. Wooten retweets that and goes, been a shooter.
Yeah, he said that, and there's another tweet like that too. He got an assist on like the most basic pass ever. And he's like, I'm an underrated passer. Like he just thinks he's God. But hey, I like him. I was looking at the G League stats.
Yeah, he goes, I'm actually a very underrated passer. Nice tray, Brody.
I mean, he's doing pretty well.
Nah, I really like it.
Like
give Lamar Peters a shot, honestly. Let's give him a shot.
Just give him all a shot. I mean, all these guys are. I mean,
Amir Hinton. Who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, I think I would just try to trade Trier and Dotson. Honestly, even if the return's not that good, just because.
Otherwise, they're just gonna leave for nothing.
Yeah, they're gonna leave for nothing. Or I honestly would not feel comfortable like giving Dotson anything more than like I wouldn't want to commit long term. Well, I mean, I don't think they want to with Trier anyway. So I mean, yeah, I would just trade Trier, I guess, because I don't know. It just seems like it's not working out in the Knicks, unless Mike Miller works his magic in like the week before the trade deadline. But Dotson.
Now, do you think
Dotson's either going to leave, or I'm not really comfortable committing that much money to him, honestly.
Do you think that Perry runs the trade deadline? You think Mills? Like, what I don't understand is like, why doesn't he just fire Mills? If it seems like all these reports are coming out that like, oh, Mills will be gone at the end of the season, like, it would make the fan base so much happier just to fire him now, and you get a head start on the executive.
I don't know. It's a really weird thing. I mean, I guess it's just that like they don't.
And like, no one cares. Like, if you want, because he's your like sycophant love buddy, like if you want to reassign him to like MSG, like the business side, no one's gonna care. But just get him out of the Knicks. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I would like to get him out of.
Out of the state.
Be happy with him. Yeah.
You know, so I don't know if
I mean,
know this, but
at MSG, he was the one that like told teams to hire
Isaiah Thomas.
So yeah, he still works his magic from inside the quarters.
A year ago, I was walking to my house, literally from like Fairway, like the grocery store, and I'm just walking with my mom, and I see Scott Perry and Steve Mills walking together. Damn. And so I ran up, and this was like maybe 6 months after they had been hired. Like, I was so optimistic, and like I went up to them and I was just like, "Hey guys, like I'm just letting you know, like I'm just like I'm really optimistic and like hopeful, and like I'm so excited for what you're bringing to the city." And Steve Mills looks at me and he goes, "We won't disappoint you."
They disappointed us a little.
We've been disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, look, the thing with Scott Perry, like I'm saying by the fact that the guys they signed this summer are decent players, but the truth is that I don't think Scott Perry is disastrously bad. Like I don't think it was like the Phil era or whatever. But he just at his base at any way you cut it, just he doesn't really do anything. I mean, he doesn't really make trades. Like he just kind of. I mean, obviously there has been success, so it's the same thing with Fizdale. Even if like you're right, like Perry is good, like he hasn't shown. I don't know. I don't think Perry's disastrously bad. Again, he didn't trade away any picks, and the difference between him and Philly, he didn't give away any long-term contracts either. But just the concept of giving Bobby Portis $15 million for any amount of years.
For no reason.
Yeah, exactly. It just shows like just a lack of understanding of managing a basketball team. And I mean, again, also David Fizdale. I mean, that's who they hired. That was their guy. I mean, so that falls on their shoulders too. And so, I mean, I don't think he was disastrously bad. I just don't think he's a guy. I definitely wouldn't want him choosing the next coach. But yeah, it's weird. I don't know what the heck they're going to do at the deadline. I guess they'll let them finish the season out. Like, the concern is, like, whether...
If it looks bad for, like...
I don't know. I mean, it's... Like, if they genuinely think they could save their job, I hope... I mean, I really don't think they will. Honestly, they're so bad. I don't see them at the trade deadline trying to like, build a winning team.
You think Perry's gone, like, no matter what? Because, I mean, obviously, I'm not that impressed by Perry, but, like, I feel a little bad if Perry gets gone.
I don't know. Steve Mills,
Scott
Perry, I wouldn't hate having him in the
That's the thing.
office.
I would be happy if it was just Perry could make the decisions, like, gave him a year just to...
Yeah, Mills should not have a job. He should be gone. Perry, like... He hasn't done anything that's stupid. Like, it would be fine if he was in the front office. I mean, all the picks they've made have been good-ish, I guess. I mean,
Ish.
Dotson,
Nothing
Robinson.
nothing fireable. Like he got
Yeah, well,
Mitch.
I don't know.
He got Mitch.
The
he
Knox.
got
The Knox is not looking. The Knox is looking like a knock.
no. But here's the thing. I'll put it this way. So like, I'm a big college basketball guy.
Yeah.
And I'm also a big Kentucky guy, right? And like I'll watch most Kentucky games, and I always liked like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but like from someone that like really watched him in college, like it wasn't just that easy to see that he would be this now.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
his ball handling was really bad. His shooting wasn't fluid. Like I always thought he was going to be really good, but I truly believed that Knox would be better. I mean, like, and I still have faith in Knox in certain areas, but like,
there's a little revision history with these drafts. Like again, the Knicks shouldn't have drafted Frank over. The Knicks should have drafted Donovan Mitchell over Frank, but wasn't like that was an obvious choice, and they should have gotten SGA or Bam over Knox, but like it wasn't the obvious choice. And people wanted like the Bridges over.
I would
Knox,
not want Bridges over Knox. Like, I don't know. I would not.
Miles Bridges has been pretty bad this year too, but this thing
I saw Fredo's tweet. I got a little rattled at that tweet.
Yeah.
I got a little rattled.
Miles Bridges is like the only player, the worst real plus minus than Knox.
Yeah, bro.
But
Miles
the point in Knox's favor is, I mean, look, it is concerning. He had like one of the worst seasons ever last year by like advanced stats, and he's again at the bottom league. But he has improved slightly. He is stronger. He's actually like passing. Like he's averaging more assists per game this year in like half as many minutes. But also the thing is he's playing 85% of his minutes at small forward, and he's playing 10% of minutes at power forward, and he's really a power forward. Like he's not being used correctly. So like I don't like I think he has the potential to be a good offensive power forward. I don't know how good. The comparison I gave him yesterday on Fredo's pod was like current Jabari Parker, which still isn't like that good, but like he's probably I don't think he's really cemented as like the worst player ever. I don't think he's in the best position.
No,
like,
I agree.
He's made strides, and then he's playing 85% of his small forward again. Just like that was my biggest like qualm with the
he played him at shooting guard.
Dilemma.
He was played at shooting guard.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. On Fizdale.
He does
Anyone, even considering playing Kevin Knox at shooting, I mean, it's just so much stupid crap with Fizdale, man.
It's
like,
actually
playing him at
like,
shooting guard at all is ridiculous, but the idea that he was getting like DNPs for being so bad at defense, like, all right, we're gonna put you at shooting guard
where your foot speed can't catch up against anyone.
I mean, he's so I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Also, I feel like how I view Fizdale is like I view that the veterans really, really liked him. Like I bet you Mook loved him. I bet you Portis loved him. But I bet you like guys like Frank, RJ.
RJ seems pretty like so blatantly against him. RJ liked the post when he was fired. He's like
I bet you they're so much happier.
He was so hyped for him after the first win where they gave him the game ball, and he just straight up RJ's like been playing way harder. Like not necessarily better yet, even though he was good against the G League
Fizz
Warriors
was just
yesterday,
like the reason like players get turned off from Fizz is like this is the same reason him and Marc Gasol had that beef. They just think he's like a bullshit artist. Like
which he is.
Yeah, exactly. Like he literally is just a snake oil salesman. Like
yeah, I mean he just talks. I mean everything he says is a lie. I mean the whole thing to start the season was talking about the freaking point guard competition, how they're all competing really hard. They made it really hard on him to decide who starts. And then he started Alonzo Trier. And then he didn't even play Trier the rest of the year. Like, it's just like
it's actually infuriating to like think back to all the decisions he makes and how inconsistent
everything's ridiculous.
They are.
Like, I should over the break make a lowlight video to show how ridiculous it is because people don't realize that like it really was not. No one was saying the Knicks were going to be good, and even if like he won, it's not even. I don't know. No one's saying the Knicks are going to be good. Like even though we talk about like how they should have won more games, like even if a coach didn't, like it's just all bad. Like just because the team is bad, just because there are a lot of excuses for the team being bad, doesn't mean he was doing good things.
Exactly.
Doing the right
exactly.
Things. Like, against the Blazers when they like lost by 40 last game with Mike Miller. Like that was a game where I genuinely felt like, all right, Mike Miller did what he could.
Exactly.
For the most part, more
like
or less.
There's a difference in like us just like having a bad team, and there's a difference between like, okay, we can still have a bad team, but not be coached to be an even worse team. Like, like everyone's saying like, oh, how do you expect anyone to win? Like, I don't even expect wins. I just expect like not disgusting basketball. Like,
yeah, I mean, and that's what it was. It was discussing basketball. We're like,
if we
even on most bad teams, you expect there's, you're like, oh, anything can happen any night. With Fizdale, it literally felt like winning was impossible. Like, no matter what.
Literally, no matter any like that, he would never do anything. I would be okay. This is a little bit of a, you might question this, but I'd be fine with, like, with all the candidates we see for the Knicks job. Neither of us want Jason Kidd. No. Neither of us want Mark Jackson.
No, seriously, like I'm
boycotting. No, we already discussed this. We texted about this.
Yeah, I know. But
just to all our viewers.
Even if Jason Kidd like got Giannis,
no, it doesn't matter.
Because Jason had Giannis, and they suck.
It doesn't matter.
Like,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And this is an announcement to our viewers, actually. If Mark Jackson or Jason Kidd are the next coach of the New York Knicks, Bootum and I will be
full-time Melo lovers,
and KP haters, and we'll just do a podcast devoted to that. But Jeff Van Gundy, I would rock with it at that point. I would just be like, you know what? At this point, like, let's do it. Let's just see how it goes.
He's the best of the options. He's at least like
he just makes me laugh. He's so like
I mean, I don't know. I mean, he was good as a coach, but like, his announcing makes me a little sus because how much he hates the NBA. Like, I don't know if I really trust like his current mindset with everything. But he was like just recently coaching like the USA select team, like the team of like G Leaguers or something. So he's at least coaching. He was at least good as a coach.
Exactly.
Mark Jackson, Jason
Mark
Kidd,
Jackson,
Thibodeau, like
no, there would be protests. There would be protests. Like the one reason I don't think they can hire Mark Jackson is because like
with the homophobia.
Yeah, if they hire Mark Jackson,
if
they hire a homophobic coach in New York City, like.
Yeah,
people are gonna freak out.
People want him though. I mean, it's crazy, but
I don't know. I don't get how people actually want him. There's so many Mark Jackson saviors.
Because people just think that like
they think he was like unfairly taken out of Golden State.
Yeah, but
if you read the transcripts of the shit that happened,
they immediately went from a 50-win team with Stephen Curry, like who was,
he made
like,
Festus Ezeli cry,
and they won 60.
He made Festus Ezeli cry.
With Mark Jackson, they won 51 games with like the best team ever, and he was like playing David Lee over Draymond.
I don't even care about that.
And then immediately he left, and they were like a 67-win team, and like Luke Walton was coaching them at like 40-2, and they were coaching themselves to win.
I don't even care about the on-court product with him. I care about like just the crazy thing. How he's just like a crazy person.
Yeah, no, like, it's ridiculous.
Like, did you hear what he did with Festus Ezeli?
Yeah, he like turned the locker room against him. But also, you heard about like how he tried to like heal Curry's ankle
by praying.
I guess it might have worked because Curry's pretty good now. But yeah, I don't know if I really buy into these Mark Jackson being candidate. I mean, he's always talked about, but if it happens, like I'm like done.
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm
and
like,
not even like a fake.
I will not be. Yeah, I'm not like
done.
I will not. If
I'll be like
anyone
Haroon.
sees me try to talk myself into it, do not let me.
I'll be like Haroon. What's the guy like Fredo's friend?
Yeah. Haroon Ali.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He hates the Knicks.
What was I gonna say? So. I don't know. So I don't really know what to do with the coach because I don't really know what available coaches are out there. I don't want any fired coach. Like I was talking about, I was saying
I would love Dave Yeager.
Even him, I don't even know. He would be okay, but like I think there are real problems there too. I mean,
there's just problems. There's just problems with him, like coexisting with management.
Well, that I'm fine with. But there was that I'm fine with because he was right. He was right for like not playing. Like like they got mad at him for like not playing Bagley. I mean, he was a rookie. He played enough. And they got mad at him for like wanting Doncic. I mean, he was right. Like everything he said was right. Though I know. I mean, I don't know if the players loved him though, because there was like remember the Buddy Hield thing where they yelled at him. So that's a concern. But yeah, I mean, I'd be okay with him honestly, as long as Mike Miller. Unless there's like some amazing.
I hope we don't fire Mike Miller. I hope he doesn't like just leave. I hope he stays.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, if Mike Miller doesn't. If Mike Miller doesn't suck, if the next year isn't dreadful and it's like he's another Fizdale, then I would probably just give him the I don't know what they did with Hornacek. Just give him like another year. See, like after the change of management.
I think last thing I'll bring up on this topic is you think that this trading from Masai thing could happen.
I don't
Because
really.
wait, I'm gonna give you a little scoop here.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about scoops. I don't see the Masai, but I think I know what you're about to say.
Okay, but so before I get into the Emerson alumni scoop, which I'll get into this, so on my neighbor in New York is like these like very old people, but like just they have a daughter, and their daughter is married to the general manager of the Toronto Raptors. Now the general manager of the Toronto Raptors is not Masai Ujiri.
Oh,
It is Bobby Webster. And Bobby Webster is the youngest GM in the league.
Interesting.
And if you do some digging, this is Ujiri's guy. And so like I bet you
So if we don't poach Masai, we could poach
Bobby Webster. I mean, and if you do some research, like Bobby Webster was like as integral in this Raptors run and getting Kawhi as anyone. Like it was like the two-headed monster of Ujiri and Webster. And so, like, basically, I think Masai comes to the Knicks, but I think it's only happening. I think it only happens because Toronto loves Bobby Webster now, and it would be easy to just promote Webster to make him kind of run team ops. But I don't know. I mean, he's done all that G League stuff, like that Chris Boucher, like Van Vliet, and I don't know, the fans love him, but I don't know. I think I think he's kind of reached his ceiling. Like once you win a championship with the Raptors, like I feel like he's gonna want to leave.
I don't know. I feel like he is just like knows too much about how like I just get that vibes he really wouldn't want to actually come to the Knicks.
But okay, wait. So now
let's hear the Emerson.
So
scoop.
obviously, I go to Emerson College, and alumni of Emerson, Sam Presti, was recently there for a live podcast with Woj, and one thing that he kept kind of bringing up was when talking about like being a GM in OKC and kind of like the financial constraints that he has, and also being like. Yeah, like because he was going through the process of the Paul George trade request, and he basically said that like even before this request, we knew that we basically had one more year to run it back, like financially, before we kind of had to blow this thing up, like. And then he talked about with such a small market team, like we're not going to really get major free agents, like these picks are the lifeblood of our franchise, and so from what I was getting from him is basically like. I think he loves OKC, and OKC's like his home, but like I don't think he would mind like going to like a real big market and kind of getting to go all out. You know what I mean? Like yeah. I think it frustrates him not being able to get really any free agent to the Thunder.
Yeah, I mean that's what I just said today. I mean the whole freaking thing. I talking about Presti, he's not. You could argue he's not perfect because like he lost Harden or whatever, but. He only lost Harden because of the like Kendrick Perkins contract. Now, you can like what I tweeted this out this morning before the podcast. I said you can say a lot about Dolan, but you can't say he's cheap. That whole thing would not have happened at NY. Right now he's given Bobby Portis $15 million. He would not let James Harden walk away because he's given too much money to Perkins.
Exactly.
I mean, Dolan is honestly like what they say is true. He lets he stays out of things. The issue is he stays out of things for the wrong people. He just needs to throw the bag at Presti.
Exactly.
And Presti, I mean, Presti I think is more realistic. He'd probably love to come. I mean, there's a lot of smoke there too with all the random talk about like how like the Thunder would just like let him come to the Knicks. So that's my golden goose more so than Masai. Like I see that happening more because Masai's honestly probably happy in Toronto. I'm sure Sam Presti is sick of like, all right, like I lost the big three, but at least now I have Westbrook and Paul George, and then Paul George leaves for a bigger market too.
Exactly.
I think Presti would not mind being in an actual big market and like being able to work his magic and like having financial support. That's my pipe dream, and if that happens, I mean that alone would probably save the Knicks. I mean.
Okay, wait, and just give me a little quote. So I'm reading I'm just on an article about Bobby Webster and Ujiri.
Alrighty.
And And one thing that he said was, Ujiri says he's going to head a team at some point, and hopefully he doesn't overthrow me. And then a player agent says, Bobby is making a lot of the decisions in terms of everything they do. Masai is the lead role and the face of the program and obviously very involved, but Bobby is the driving force for a lot of the decisions that they make.
Okay, so that's the sleeper move, Bobby Webster. Instead of getting
he has New York ties.
Instead of getting the well-regarded executives of the Kings and Magic, maybe let's go to the championship Raptors.
Bobby Webster has New York ties. Like I said, his in-laws live on my floor.
Yeah.
No.
You gotta start.
I gotta start.
You gotta work your magic.
I'm gonna start lobbying for Bobby Webster to be our GM. Because I would. I think I would squeal.
I mean, the thing you can say about the Knicks is, while like being a coach, you can make the jokes that being a coach is desirable because like you'll get fired in a year and get paid to vacation. Being an executive for the Knicks is kind of like a nice thing. Dolan will let you do what he wants, and the Knicks are in a decent place. I mean, they're starting from rock bottom, and they have like a decent amount of assets. Like nothing's holding them back. I mean, if you're a team, you want to build a place bottom up. I mean, that's honestly it's a pretty desirable location. All right, we gotta.
Okay, wait, yeah.
You want to talk about the per 36 All-Star? Or you want to say one more?
Yes. Okay, well, I was just gonna say, it was just stories about how they found Fred VanVleet. Basically,
yeah, exactly.
He's basically saying that he saw, like Webster's thing has been the Raptors G League team, and so like, I don't know, and no one mentions his name in anything because Masai is so like polarizing, but I would want to keep my eye on that. Because like if Masai doesn't want to leave, like I think one of like I would basically go to the Raptors and be like, I want Masai more, but like let me get one of them. I will give you a pick for one of them.
Yeah, I would easily give one of the Mavs picks for them.
Yeah,
easily.
Or I would give one for Presti too.
Yeah. I would give any Mavs pick. Yeah. And
because once you have such a
Knicks first round pick and any amount of money to just get a competent executive, and that's all they really need. All right.
Okay, per 36 All-Star, this week we have Jared Jeffries.
Legendary Nick. I remember like the last time the Knicks were decent, like during the Lynn Sanity era. It's funny, like they in like the lobby they'd have like the marquee guys and be like Melo and JR and Chandler, and then just like freaking Jared Jeffries.
And he was on that team.
As a guy getting like advertised.
He was on that team for years. Okay, boom. In the 11-12 season, Jared Jeffries was in the top 4 of drawing offensive fouls in the league.
Yeah,
and now he's taking over an esports agency.
But what? Yeah, as Terry and Trey pointed out on Twitter, he was like ahead of his time. Like he's a 6'11", like tweener defending forward, and he was drafted in the league as a small forward that can't shoot. I mean, that's just like it's ridiculous. But now he would play power forward, and he would probably get a little bit of threes, and he'd just be like, he was not very good at catching passes and finishing layups, but like he'd be a good he'd be like Frank as a power forward, and he'd be like a solid player. Like I don't know. I'd rather have him Randall this year maybe.
With his per 36 numbers.
Oh yeah,
his best year was. We never hit a double digit.
never hit a double digit. In per 36 minutes, our per 36 All-Star
in 11 years.
Not once in 11 years averages 10 points per 36 minutes. He peaked in his rookie season with 9.7 points per 36 minutes on 7.8 shots.
And then had a 9.5 in Houston, which was a redeeming year for him in 2010.
Wait, I'm not even seeing that. In Houston?
Yeah. 2010, 2011.
It's like not even coming up for me under per 36 for some reason, just because like he played so little maybe. Oh, yeah, I don't know. But still not great. He's kind of like Kenny Wooden numbers without the blocks.
No, but I'm telling you, like I'm not even saying this in like exaggerating, joking way. Like fouls drawn. Okay, offensive fouls drawn. I just found this. Okay, listen to this. In the 2010 season, he drew 60 offensive fouls.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive.
That's almost a charge a game.
Yeah, that's like Ilyasova.
No, that's what I
territory.
mean. That's
good stuff.
60 charges in a year he drew.
But yeah, like I was.
And his second highest, so it went from 60 to 28. That was the drop off. One season he got 60. His second highest was 28.
But yeah, like I was saying, his numbers are like Kenny Wooden's per 36 numbers without the blocks. Kenny Wooden per 36, averaging 8.4 points, 8.3 rebounds. That's not very good, but 1.9 assists, 1.5 steals, and 5.6 blocks per 36. I mean, they gotta calm up and just let him and Mitch just like swat everything.
Imagine
and foul out in 10 minutes.
Do you know what would be a great lineup if you just go Frank, RJ, Mook, Kenny, Mitch?
I would score like 2 points a game, but
we already scored. Honestly, Alfred Payton should just start.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, that's another can of worms. But yeah.
I was just thinking we didn't mention him once, and he's kind of he's a competent point guard.
He's competent. He's competent, and he's not one of those vets that's like taking away from the other guys. He's gonna like make guys better.
And he knows he's a natural point guard.
He probably should start. I don't really care as long as Frank is still playing. I mean, I could even imagine starting Frank and Payton,
and then RJ at the 3.
Yeah, but then that's like no shooting. But I don't know. Who cares?
Also, hey, got to figure out a way to get Julius out of here soon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, we're not trading him at this deadline, but hopefully Mike Miller just like, he works on him a bit and we just get him out of here. I hate him.
I know.
The worst is just like to end this off.
He doesn't.
Just the worst isn't just like when he's bad. It's just like when he like throws it away for the millionth time, or like he runs into a tunnel a million times and he like is mad at like the ref or something. I don't know.
Michael Beasley
makes me mad.
Okay, hot take. Michael Beasley was a better Knick than Julius Randle has been so far, and they played very similar games.
Neither could defend.
but he was just a walking bucket.
He was a bucket.
And people and like Mike Beasley's likable. Like no one wants to pass to Julius. Like,
no, because you pass him, you just know that's getting like
he's gonna do his spin move in between 3 guys and just throw it up and hit the bottom of the rim.
Yeah, it's either getting clanged off the rim or it's getting gently like he's doing a spin.
Or he does like his when he gets the ball like on the 3-point line, it's like he like waits and then it's like a very like peaceful like follow through that he hits one out of every 5 times.
Now I'm just getting salty about
I know. We gotta stop.
Costing Mike Miller his win. Ugh, he's the worst. All right, that's all the time we got for today. Per 36. About 53 minutes right now.
We'll be back. Hopefully, we'll get an episode in while we're both home.
Yeah, because get a Christmas themed episode.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Peace.
All right.